Hi everyone, in this video we are going to talk about ConfigDump lift and shift. So ConfigDump is an enterprise functionality in EJBCA which allows you to do a lot of deployment automation. Here we are going to talk about a little trick which allows you to replicate your existing environment. So for an example, you might have a setup running on a local or in test environment which you want to replicate in an actual cluster or in production. So what do? You can export the config dump from this existing environment using our REST API and then use this JSON file which was result from this REST API and mount it in the Helm chart. So you provide it to the Helm chart and Helm chart takes care of mounting it to the EJBCA container so that when the EJBCA starts up, it already has those settings initialized in your production environment. So for an example, you might have one or two CS in your existing environment. You can copy or modify this JSON file, this existing config dump to add more CS. You might want to edit some of the attributes, for an example CS subject DN. You might want to add more certificate and identity profiles, add some more protocol configuration or aliases like ACME, EST aliases, and then after you export it out, you have this whole environment replicated. So we need an existing setup, for an example, a CA cluster to demonstrate this. So we will do that. And another thing over here to note that definitely when you go for a production environment, you might have a few things which are confidential. For an example, the crypto token or the store for this private keys which the CAs are using. So these things can be provided as a secrets, like Kubernetes Secrets, and these things will be automatically picked up when the config dump is being imported. So everything we will show soon. So let's jump into it. We already have an existing CA cluster set up so that we can export it out or lift and shift it out to an alternate namespace. So let's see what our cluster has now. So it has two instances of EJBCA cluster 0 and 1, and they are connected to two MariaDB Galera instances. We already have this instance fully configured with TLS setup. So let's see how it looks like. So we are going to grab this IP address which is allowing sticky session based on client IP. So we already have that open. So we have two CAs. One of them is management CA, which is being used for administrative access, and another one is issuer CA, which is signed by an external root CA. We have a certificate profile setup, additionally an identity profile. We also have a PR setup, which is currently offline. So all of these resources and few more can be exported out using our config dump. So let's do that step by step. Now what we are going to do is prepare this alternative namespace where this whole setup we are planning to lift and shift into. We are going to run the same commands as before to set up these prerequisites which we done for this other namespace. While doing so, I am going to pause this video for a bit and we'll come back soon. So all these secrets and this config map has already been set up. Database has been deployed similar to this other namespace. And you can also see that there are two MariaDB Galera and similar services already deployed similar to the other PVCs and such. And in here you will see something similar. So before going on further, we are just trying to verify everything is the same, and it looks like the same. So software system slot init is another thing which will enable us to create key pairs. Notice that this time the keys will be different compared to the keys in our old environment. So we have to compensate for that in our ConfigDump, which we'll do soon. So before going there, let's export this ConfigDump out, which we are going to do as part of this REST API call, which includes everything. And we are going to use the IP address which is given using this load balancer in our existing setup. So we're going to run this command first. So ConfigDump has been exported. So now we are going to take a look into this exported ConfigDump. So this is a ConfigDump JSON file, which is as expected is a very big file because it has everything. We are going to clean it up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, it's been cleaned up. Now we need to do a few things so that it is ready to be imported. First, we need to make sure that we can have super admin access to this new cluster. Now, we do not have any CS created when this ConfigDump is imported in, so we want public access, but as a super admin. So instead of doing copy paste over here, we are going to do that using EJBCA itself. So we are going to come to this roles and access roles, and we are going to create a new member so that the public access is enabled. Okay. Now we are going to do the same steps as before. So we are going to export it out to a new ConfigDump JSON file, and we are going to clean it up over here. Okay, once more we have to clean it up. Oops. Okay, it's cleaned up now. Now we scroll up to here. Now you can see there is public access enabled, so the new cluster setup will allow us to log in without any certificate authentication. Okay. Now another thing, we have to delete these sections of key pair info. So in new environment, there will be new key pairs. For an example, with soft JSON, there will be new key pairs generated. EJBCA will automatically populate these sections when they read this key pair. But to allow this to be read, we also need to provide it the crypto token passwords. To do so, we are going to use this environment variable ConfigDump token pass, which can be provided in ConfigDump using this. So ConfigDump will know to look into this variable in environment variable, and you can also like have different passwords with 1, 2, 3 or some form of suffix to. We are going to provide this environment variable using Kubernetes secret. Let me just copy this command over. Okay. So now all of these crypto tokens will be initialized with same password foo123, but please be careful in your production settings. And this is the main modification you need to do. Of course, this is a trimmed values.yaml file. We are enabling ConfigDump import. We are initializing the ConfigDump so that the CS can be created, especially the management CA can be created. We are going to put this ConfigDump JSON in this ConfigMap. So let's do that. Okay. Okay, the config map has been created now. Now let me grab the same comment as before and let's check that everything is in order or not. Okay, software system related things are there and the corresponding secret for the password and the config map with the ConfigDump content both are ready. Now the secrets are also provided in the EJBCA 2 using this env from section, and please note that this is part of a larger values.yaml file which is being shown over here. I already have set up this file in another file too. We just need to update this namespace name and the corresponding file name, then we'll be good to go. So I'm going to do just that. Okay, I'll copy over the namespace name. I will deploy now. It will take a minute for this deployment to complete. It is starting up. So for now I'm going to pause it and now our EJBCA has been deployed. So let's go to the instance by accessing with this IP address. In the browser we put in HTTPS for TLS and then the IP address, we navigate into it. As expected, there is no login with certificate. Management CA has been created and the issuer CA is waiting for a certificate from our root CA. Certificate profile and the entity profile has been imported. A peer connection has been created, but of course there is no peer now. But a fully configured remote authentication is ready to go so that we can create new peers and connect to it from our CA instance. Corresponding roles has also been configured, and this public access which has been done by us so that we can do this access is there. We have to do a proper super admin enrollment so that we can actually secure our cluster. Then we are good to go. Hopefully you guys found this useful, and thank you.